Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, today I have the Fimi X8 SE and I am out at Lucky Peak Reservoir. The Fimi recently had some firmware updates, the flight control firmware, the camera firmware, as well as some other control firmware was updated on it. I will show you a screenshot of what was on it and what it was updated to right now, so you'll see that on the screen. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to kind of test that firmware and see if it made any difference camera wise. One of the biggest issues I've had with this drone has been with I've not been really happy with the video that I've been getting off the camera. So we'll see if that camera firmware updated that. I plan on shooting in 4K 30 frames per second HDR. Let's get the best we can get out of this guy. But then the other factor today is it's cold. It's 37 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and there's a fairly good wind. UAV forecast says 9-mile-an-hour sustained, up to, I think it said 16-mile-an-hour gusts. And it's probably every bit of that, if not more. Now, anybody that knows this drone knows that's not a problem for this guy. It's a pretty powerful drone, so I'm not too worried about that. And we're not going to go, we're not going to do any range tests or anything dumb like that. We're just going to take the thing out and take a look at the video. We might mess around with some of the intelligent flight modes, do some orbits and things like that. But mostly a video test, a flyability test. And as usual with this drone, we want to look at the horizon because it has an issue with a tilted horizon, or has had in the past. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I've got the drone fired up and it is still looking for satellites here, so we're going to give it a minute. I can tell you it is bitter cold. This isn't going to be a very long flight because I'm telling you, my fingers are getting really cold just sitting here right now. But we can look and see if we need a compass calibration. It tells me that the compass is normal. IMU is normal. Gimbal's normal. Battery's normal. So we're looking good there. Let's just wait and get some satellites here. Okay, it looks like we've got enough satellites to take off now. So let's go into the camera settings here real quick and look at where we are at. Yeah, so we're 4K 30 video quality. We're going to put that to high. And let's see, I need to change the video mode to HDR. And white balance is on auto, color is on general, the H.264 codec. And yeah, let's go ahead and start recording. Recording has started. And yeah, we just lost, well, we've still got 13 satellites, but it says VPU. I'm going to give it a second here. It's kind of going between 12 and 13 satellites, and we've got enough wind. I want to make sure it has a good GPS lock. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit takeoff here on the controller. So taking off now. So because of the wind, I went ahead and got the drone up and out and away from us here. It's getting blown around a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad. The drone is moving around a little bit, but I'm gonna bring it in and down just a little. Drop a little altitude, and we're gonna do our usual droney here. So reverse and up now. Let me drop the camera down just a tad. Reverse and up. And boy, I'll tell you what, you can tell the drone is fighting the wind. I can see it there. But let me yaw back around here and center on us a little. I did a little cross coupling there. But I'll tell you what, in this kind of wind, this is the kind of drone you want to have, because it can deal with it like you know, some other drones. Like well, let me just be blunt. I wouldn't be flying the Mavic Mini on a day like this. So let's take a look at the lake here. I can tell you on the screen here, it looks pretty darn good. I'm getting a really good signal here. We'll fly up the lake here a little bit. I'm kind of doing a slow yaw so you guys can kind of see the countryside here. And you can see there's snow on the side of the mountains. Let's head up the lake a little ways here, or the reservoir. And you can see that they've continued to drop the level of the reservoir. So the drone is going to be kind of going, I think, a little bit crossways to the wind here. And you know, we're still achieving, this is in normal mode, about 10 meters per second. So like I said, this drone can cut the wind. And we're at about 90 meters high. Well, I just looked off to my right, and a classic red Corvette, about a mid-70s Corvette, just pulled up. And everybody knows I'm a Corvette fan. I wish I had the drone closer. I'd give you guys a shot and be able to take a look at it. Yeah, you probably saw it in the background here on the GoPro camera. So range-wise, we're out about gonna get out about 800 meters here. I'm not gonna go too far, so we're gonna turn this baby around here. Let's go to the right, and I kind of want to give you a shot of the mountains, and you can see the snow. And one of the reasons that I was in a hurry to fly today is because we're expecting more weather. Let's go out to this little, you know, I call them campsites or picnic sites or whatever, but this is where boaters can go. Oops, looks like we lost GPS. I don't like that. Oh, there we got our satellites back. Okay. Yeah, I was going to turn around and head it back, but we're good. I am keeping my eyes peeled. I hear aircraft, so I just want to make sure that we are, yeah, I see a helicopter, but he's way up there, so not anywhere near us. Yeah, as I go this direction, it seems to lose satellites, so discretion is the better part of valor. We're not going to do that. Let's turn it around and bring it back this way. I don't know if it's because I'm getting close to the side of the hill there or what, but as you can see, as I turn it around, we definitely gain satellites back. So, and there we are on the vista point. And I noticed that they're not running much water down into the Boise River. As I was pulling up, the Boise River that this drains into was just near dry. Okay, we're gonna drop some altitude as we come down here, and maybe we'll try some of the intelligent flight modes. So you can see me there in the Tahoe. Here we come with the drone. Let's just go right over the top of us here. It's fun watching that drone whiz by. I don't want to go too near the dam because that is a no-fly zone, of course. So we'll turn around and come back. Okay. I'm going to drop the camera down and get right over the top of us here. And let's see if we can, let's do an orbit. So we're going to go into the intelligent flight modes and orbit. And we're going to set the center right where we're at here. And then we're going to back the drone off. And let's pick that camera back up while we do it. I've got a glove on one of my hands, so it's kind of hard to, I'm a little clumsy on the controls. Okay, so I don't know, we're gonna want to go more than that. Let me back it up here a ways and get some altitude. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna set radius right there, and let's speed this baby up, and we're gonna go clockwise. And I always, you always want to remember to set it to center. If you want the camera of the drone to stay centered, you have to set center there. And we're going to click OK. And the drone will take the command and it'll start here. And the good thing about this is it gives me a chance to put my my hand in my pocket and warm up my fingers. It is bitter cold out here, folks. So obviously, you know, you got the winter sun is low in the sky, so you're seeing the sun reflecting off the water there. And this will give a good look at this camera, because we're definitely, you know, I'm seeing it change the white balance and stuff as it goes around here. So we'll get a good look at that, and we'll see if they improved the video on this drone. And the other thing about it is we're in that HDR mode. So in theory, HDR should keep us from blowing out the bright areas, and it should light up the dark areas. So looks like I just noticed that camper that pulled in here, he tilted out his tip out, so evidently he's going to be here for a while. Must be having lunch. That's kind of a handy little thing to have, right? Just take your house with you. Okay, that's about where we started. We're going to stop right there. All right, let's go back into I wouldn't mind doing a spiral. So let's do that. Let's do a spiral. We're going to do the kind of the same thing here, but let's, instead of flying over the top of me, let's kind of go over the center of the vista point here, the vista lookout. So I have to set the center. So sorry, I should have been more prepared and been ready to go for this, but let's kind of get right in the center of the. Well, I didn't have the camera all the way down. I'd say that's pretty close. Setting center. And let's back it off again, just like we did before. But we won't go as far because it should spiral out from there. So let's click the radius up a little bit clockwise, and let's put auto return on, and it'll return to where it started. And let's click go, and let's see what we get here. And basically what the drone will do is it will do a corkscrew up above us. We're probably kind of high for this to be terribly dramatic. In fact, we definitely are. I'm gonna kick the gimbal up a little bit here, and at least you'll get a look at the countryside. Yeah, that wasn't the best move there, but this way at least you'll get a look at the reservoir in the mountains picking up that camera. And it should tell us when it completes it here. And there it is, mission completed, and it stopped recording. So I'm going to start recording again. And let's do this. Let's fly into the sun here, or it's not exactly into the sun, but into the reflection. And what we're going to do is we're going to head for the boat ramp here. And that, in the winter time, you can see it's way, they have to really back way down that ramp to get into the water, but they do it. You see guys fishing out here year round. So I hear another aircraft, but it's a jet, and he is way up there. Okay, let's spin around here, and that's the dam there, but obviously we're not going to get too close to that because, again, that is a no-fly zone. Let's just come right back over the top of us here. Picking that gimbal up just a little bit. And we're down to 55% battery. So it's, you know, we're getting pretty good. We've been shooting for a while, so we're getting pretty good time on this battery. And you know, that's the cool thing, is in this kind of wind, and the drone, you know, the drone doesn't even know it. It's just working just like it should. And it's right over the top of us here. It's fun watching that drone cut through the air. And I've told you guys this before that have watched my videos before, but that's Idaho Highway 55. It goes up into the mountains, goes to a little town called Idaho City, and on over the top in Moores Creek Summit, and you would end up in Stanley, Idaho, if you stayed on that. Or excuse me, I said 55, that's Highway 21, I'm sorry. It's Highway 21. I'm seeing I'm getting a little bit of prop in the picture here. Back over the top of this little peninsula. We'll grab a little altitude. And I've noticed that we've held our GPS well. It just seemed like when we were kind of, it must have been as when we were close to the side of that of the mountain there, that we were losing GPS. It must have been blocking signal. Okay, we are down to about 46% battery, 45%. And I have to tell you, my fingers have taken about all they can. They're about frozen off here. So I'm going to do a return to home. I'm going to do that on the controller here. And we'll see the drone take the command here and turn around, and let's see if we can get a precision landing. Coming back to us here. I guess another good thing I'm going to say about this Fimi drone is you're not getting that annoying beep 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 either that you get on a DJI drone. It tells you on the screen that it's an auto return, but you don't have to deal with that annoying beep. I gotta tell you, you know, the truth will be told when I look at the SD card, but what I'm seeing on FPV here looks really good, and I've had really good signal this whole time. We haven't lost any FPV signal or anything. I mean, we did have a couple little GPS anomalies there. Oh man, that wind is coming up and it's blowing right through me. Okay, let's drop the camera down as we get closer here. And I'll do a manual landing if this thing gets blown around too much, because we do have another car here right next to me. And there we are right there. And let's see if it'll find the landing pad here. Yeah, oh, it says it sees it there, but yeah, it was coming down on my car, so I kicked it out of return there, and I am just going to do a manual landing. Discretion is the better part of valor. I'm going to land it on the other side of my car there. Boy, the wind is really kicking up. So I'm going to pick the camera up here so you guys can see it. And we're just going to bring it in for a landing here. Okay, and what I like about this drone is it does shut off recording. Let me go retrieve the drone and we'll do a conclusion. Hey, okay guys, this is one of those flights that you feel pretty good about when you land the drone. Everything went, I think, pretty good. Now, the video quality, can I tell you that it was as good as I hoped? I can't just yet because I haven't seen what came off that SD card. You guys will have already seen that, so you can make up your own mind there. However, the flight went really well, particularly in the conditions, the cold, the wind. The drone performed perfectly. The only issue that I can say that we did have was losing GPS. We went into ADI mode out there over the lake, but it seemed to be when as I was trying to close into the side of the mountain there, the hill, and I suspect that must have blocked some GPS signal. As soon as we went back out into the middle of the lake, we got 16 satellites again and we were fine. Yeah, I mean, the orbit I think went really well. The Helix, I should have done a better job on that. I should have started at a lower altitude and it probably would have looked a little better. But once I picked up the gimbal, the camera, and you at least could see the horizon there, so it looked all right. So this should be a pretty good test because we had into the glare and we had then the sun at its back. So a lot of different situations, and particularly when it was in that orbit mode, we'll be able to see how did the camera software approach the different lighting conditions. So you guys will have already seen that, and I'm anxious to see it. But in the meantime, I'm telling you what, it's freaking cold out here. So I'm going to shut this thing down. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really do appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Fimi X8 SE. I had a good time with it today. See you guys.